So I asked Chael last night, I was like, do you think that there's a world where if Charles wins and he's disrespectful enough and he does like the perfect fucking call out where he gets Khabib to come back, do you think that there is a scenario where that happens? And Chael, his answer was, oh, wow. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to any of the recent news that came out about Charles Oliveira. Like factors that might play into the fight that we're about to see at UFC 280, which, by the way, I will be joining you live at Shab's Fight Companion with Frank Mir on the Thick Boy YouTube channel. So make sure that you check that out. But going into this fight with Islam Makhachev, just a slight change of, just a minor factor that might play into the fight just a little bit, which we'll talk about in about 1 second. But before we do, if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell. I'm about to also go live in a second, and I am going to talk about the O'Malley and Yan interaction where he pushed him, and then the press conference afterwards. We're going to talk about the mental edge. If you have not, I'm going to go live for that. But if you didn't watch it yet, definitely watch it. It's going to be awesome. And also, this video is brought to you by Yo Kratom, my favorite sponsor aside from Sheath and Manscaped, which equally I love. But YoKratom.com, if you use Kratom, very, very cheap, $60 kilograms, high quality. I just took some a little while ago, and it's fantastic. You could tell by how I'm gritting my teeth. I'm just kidding, but it's the bomb. YoKratom.com, all the strains that you want, $60 kilograms. So here's the deal, dude. So Charles Oliveira, what's something notable about his career? Let's start here. So what is something notable about his last however many fights, right? Like something that seems very notable about his stand-up. Very good, very crisp, right? Seems to get hit a lot, right? Really seems to get hit a lot for a guy who has such crisp striking. I also remember something about him walking back into the crowd after one of his fights and someone snatching his glasses and people being like, dude, that's super messed up. He's like blind without his glasses. And it's like, blind without his glasses. Okay, let me think about that for a second. And what dawned on me at the time, which I'm sure I've talked about on the channel, was so he's not wearing contact lenses in the octagon. Like, so he's half blind. Someone snatched his glasses. Well, guess what? If you're wearing contact lenses, you're not wearing glasses, which through my Sherlock Holmes level deduction skills, I figured out that he's in the octagon with no glasses while simultaneously visually impaired on a level that people say is shocking. And you look at those glasses, they're super thick. Okay, well, you know what happened between the Gaethje fight and now? He got LASIK, and now he has 20/20 vision, okay? So just to put this in perspective, what is the only weakness that Charles Oliveira has shown in his last handful of fights? He gets punched a lot, right? He gets punched hard, right? Yeah. He was in there fucking blind, dude. He was in there blind. Of course he's getting punched. Like that really, like that never made a lot of sense to me either when I really thought about it. It was like, he has, cause like, he's so crisp, boom, like everything he does is like, it's not crazy fast. It's just technically perfect. And so I was always just kind of like, oh, maybe he just doesn't react very well. And I just never put together like, oh, he's probably getting punched because he can't fucking see, dude. Like he can't see very well. Okay. Now he has 20/20 vision. Do you understand how big of a deal that is for Charles? Now, it doesn't necessarily mean for sure he's going to beat Islam Makhachev, but do you understand how massive a deal that is? You just took the one weakness that he has, and it's gone now. You think he's going to be just as easy to hit now that he could see? Probably not, dude. And here's the thing. So I watched the video that the Weasel did about this, right? And he's like, I don't know if it's necessarily going to make a huge impact fighting Islam Makhachev because, obviously the implication being that the fight's probably going to go to the ground. But let me just pose this to the Weasel and everybody else. Okay, so do you think that Charles's ability to quickly react to Islam shooting for a takedown might make a pretty big impact on the outcome of this fight? Probably, right? Probably. And so where in a grappling exchange where you're on the level of Charles, a guy turtles, you can feel where he is and you can see, where his leg and where you can, stick a hook in to where eyesight doesn't really matter that much once you get into that type of grappling exchange. But when you're in the stand-up exchange, okay, the ability to predict a microsecond between, oh, they're throwing an overhand versus they're faking an overhand and they're going to shoot for a double is the difference between a guillotine or you on your back with him past your fucking legs, dude. It could be an astronomically important difference, right? And he's going to be able to, everyone has a tell, okay? That's why, I mean, almost everyone. That's why when like a guy when someone has absolutely perfect striking where they have no tell at all, like where they just go boom and you're like, wow. It's like, Leon Edwards, perfect example. Watch Leon Edwards throw crosses. I mean, it's not like he's never but most of his crosses have absolutely no tell at all. It's just like he's here and then boom. And it's, I can't even fucking do it as good as him. But most people have a tell, and I'm telling you, if there's a tell there, now that Charles can see, he's going to pick it up. And if Islam Makhachev has even a minor hit, throws a couple punches, and then his left leg gives away that he's actually going to shoot, now Charles is going to see it, where he wouldn't have otherwise. This is a huge deal, man. This is an absolutely enormous deal. Even if Islam Makhachev wins this fight, even if he wins this fight, guess what? Next person Charles fights is in fucking trouble, dude. Here's the other thing too. I heard both. I heard Islam Makhachev wants to go up to welterweight and compete for that title also if he beats Charles, which I am all in for. I'd be more excited though if Charles wanted to go up to 170 and compete, because guess what? Normally I don't betray conversations that I have with people, but I'm going to do this because I'm not betraying anything. So I asked Chael last night, I was like, do you think that there's a world where if Charles wins and he's disrespectful enough and he does like the perfect fucking call out where he gets Khabib to come back, do you think that there is a scenario where that happens? And Chael, his answer was, here's your problem. Khabib had a problem with the scale when he was still fighting. There's a big question mark on whether he could ever make 55 again. And I was like, fuck, that's true. But I bet he could make 170. I bet you could make 170 if you want to do a fucking super fight between Khabib and Charles. He doesn't want to come out of retirement. He just wants fucking Charles. So Charles, 170. Khabib, 170. Let's fucking do this, dude. So, yeah. I mean, if you can't tell, I'm getting pretty fired up for this fucking fight card, man. And that little tidbit of information, I was like, holy fucking shit, man. Let's go. So, if you haven't before, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, all notifications, go to yokratom.com, buy some shit, get Sheath underwear with the promo code FIRE20. Manscaped is the bomb. I don't remember my promo code, but it's around somewhere. Anyway, I love you guys, and peace in the Middle East.